Hey guys, it's David here, back with another episode and cerebral palsy and fitness. And today I have Wynn Charles. She is an author, a podcaster, and just an all-around human being from what I've met about her so far. So, Wynn, I would like to know more about how you began your podcasting journey. So I'll let you take it away.
Well, I also have CP, and so this is going to be the CP from the women's side. Although you guys get to hear CP from David's side, but not very many women are in podcasting, let alone have cerebral palsy. And so I started my podcast 11 years ago now, 11 years ago, because we're recording this on January 2nd of 2021. Yikes, that's a little bit scary. But I've been in the podcasting industry for 11 years. And the reason why I started a podcast is because I wrote a book. And I wrote my autobiography when I was 23 years old. I wrote the original autobiography when I was 23 years old after losing my mom. And so when it got to the part of marketing the book, I thought, oh, good grief, how am I supposed to market this book? Well, I didn't want to do it. I have cerebral palsy. I didn't want to do it as long drawn out cerebral palsy was me pity party aspects that drives me nuts. So I thought, okay, why not interview people that are above me but still want to be educated about cerebral palsy? And I have ever since then loved it. I've had a full-time job, but due to COVID, so last year, COVID made me quit my full-time job. I did not get COVID. I was one of thousands of Americans that lost their job due to COVID. So I decided to go into the journalism field, and I'm going to be finishing up a degree, and I'm slowly but surely working on that. And so that is just a little bit about my podcast and me.
Now, I just wanted to say I completely sympathize with you. My condolences on your mother. I can relate. I lost my mom 22 years ago, and it's never easy to lose a family member. It's never easy. The pain really never goes away, but the one thing that we know is our memories always live in our hearts with them.
And here's the icing on cake. The icing on cake is I lost my dad in 2019.
Wow. I'm 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 so sorry. My condolences.
So,
My condolences.
yep, yep, he
Mm.
passed away in 2019, and yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's very
So now
difficult.
I'm off and with cerebral palsy.
Yeah, but just always remember they'll always be there with you, whether
Oh yes, they
they're
will.
physically or not. You're making
Yep.
them proud. That's what you have to remember.
Well, I hope so.
And with that being said, knowing a little bit about you, I know you've been, I guess, tackling your degree in journalism. Is it?
Yes,
How's that coming along? Is it going pretty well? Have you
it's
enjoyed it so
going.
far?
It's going along nicely, and it's going along, and I have enjoyed it.
That is incredible to I know you have your main degree, but this is your second degree, right? That you're getting currently.
My main degree is in education. I don't know what the education hated me or I hated it, but because of COVID, I was supposed to be out of my job anyway in May, but because of everything that went down in March and April of last year, of 2020, I decided to quit my job and not to go back.
So before podcasting, what was it that you embarked on beforehand? Did you work on
Education.
education? Were you a teacher?
I was a teacher.
Oh
That's
wow,
the
what
job
subject?
that I quit. Um, my I taught music for I taught preschool music for 13 years and dabbled in a little bit of admin work. Also dabbled in a little bit of um, liaison work for making the community better at my previous educational institute, but didn't get far on that. And then when COVID decided to come calling, I asked them, I said, in April of last year, I said, well, do you want me to mask up, glove up, and come and close out the year? And they go, no, because we don't have a plan. And unbeknownst to them, me being the journalist that I am, I would listen to the news up and down the East Coast. And me being the technology fan that I am, I knew how to zoom in 2 seconds flat. I was doing podcasting part time along with a part-time job. So in the afternoons, I would go to work in the mornings and then go straight into podcasting in the afternoons. And on my days off, I would go just do podcasting full time. And so I knew how to zoom in 2 seconds flat. But they said no thank you. It would be better for you to stay home and just shelter in place like the rest of us. But unbeknownst to me, they were teaching online. And I'm like, okay, you guys, you told me that you don't have a plan, but yet you do have a plan. And yet you told me this because you wanted me out. And so I said, bye-bye.
Funny that you talk about the situation with education. I know myself, being a current middle school teacher, it hasn't been easy at all. Like when COVID first happened here in Florida, they shut down the schools for a while, and then I guess the kids were out for a few weeks, and then eventually they came up with a plan where everything was virtual, and then we started the whole virtual route. And it's been, to be honest with you, it's been the most frustrating experience ever.
Oh, yes.
But at the same time, you can tell that some of the kids are actually trying, and then some of the kids are struggling because they can't. They might not have that support at home, and it's not. As a child, it's twice as difficult to focus on the laptop as it is to focus at school and face to face.
Yeah. Yeah. I no, I completely agree with you. And it's like, okay. And it's so funny because I'm actually in the process of um, moving from Carlisle to Florida and doing cross country move by myself. My family that I do have out here is not coming with me. They're coming They'll be coming down to visit, but I will be doing the move. And so it's going to be interesting to see the two different sides of the spectrum, Colorado versus Florida. It's going to be different. It's going to be interesting to see the two spectrums.
Are you a big warm weather person or no? Not really.
I am a huge warm weather person. I grew up in the Bahamas. I grew up because my mom lived. My mom grew up in the Bahamas. Her family still lives in the Bahamas. So I spent a bunch of time in the Bahamas, and yes, I am a huge warm weather person. And snow and altitude don't like me.
Oh yeah, like I've never lived up in a state with snow personally, but I know that yourself, being in a wheelchair and having to go through that snow, it can be very
Oh
difficult.
yeah, oh yeah, and it's mightily interesting. Um, I just experienced, well, as of last week, up here, and we made national news. And so, um, if you, I don't know when this is coming out, but if you guys want to go backtrack it, look up Aspen Colorado outage. Heat outage. We um, we were not able to get heat for 2 days.
That is something. I've never heard of that before, so that's a first.
Yeah, the heat goes on. No, thank you. And so yeah, so that impacted all of us.
Yeah, it's but I'm glad you're able to find some place where you can actually hopefully enjoy because
Oh yeah, yeah,
Florida's
yeah. No,
great.
I'm
Florida's great,
I'm
but
going to enjoy.
you just have to get used to the warm weather because it gets really hot here. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I can handle I can handle humidity. I can handle the heat outside. I just can't handle having no heat inside. That drives me nuts.
So in regards to, I know we both have CP, and then I wanted to know your thoughts about how do you feel about when people approach you and they use certain terms like you're inspirational, you're motivational, you're like there's people that take it with a grain of salt. They agree with it, and they kind of go, hey, I appreciate it. There's people that go like, hey, I don't appreciate you saying those things. Have you heard of inspiration porn?
I have heard of inspiration. I have heard the term inspirational, but I've never heard of inspiration porn,
It's
and
it's
that's a
it's
good way
um
to put it.
it's what they call it when people kind of glorify people with disabilities. It's a term that they use to kind
Yeah,
of you know
now I'm so over I'm so over being the inspiration porn that it's not even funny. Um, I got myself out of a very serious situation this past week, and I'm lucky to be alive. Let's just put it that way. And I finally shared what happened this past week um, with my fan base. So if you guys want to go check that out, go over to the work of CP, to go over to Ask Win and go check that out. But my my fan base goes, "What? You went through what?" And yes, um, I was going through carbon monoxide poisoning, which is not a fun one for
oh
anyone to go
wow.
through. Yeah, yeah. So, and I didn't. I I realized it, but I realized it when I realized it on Sunday morning when it's like, okay, I'm sick. I also have a splitting headache. The splitting headache wouldn't go away because of carbon monoxide poisoning. I finally made it out of the the interesting situation on Tuesday, and then it last year, mind you, and then it's been slowly but surely getting fixed. But um, man, carbon monoxide poisoning is scary.
Yeah, you are just a warrior. All these things happen to you, but you're still hanging in there. And you're a
Oh
very
yeah,
strong individual.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But to answer your question, could you guys, and I'm telling you fan base this, could you guys knock it off with the inspirational porn? David and I are just trying to do the best we can and live our best lives with CP.
Yeah, that's pretty much how you can put it. It's just we're just two um, regular human beings. The disability doesn't define us. It's what we do. The actions that we
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
our jobs, our careers, anything that we do. That's what should define us. That's what I always tell people. And
Okay.
like yesterday, for example, I was actually on my run because I tend to run around my neighborhood a lot because just to stay in shape and stay active. I had somebody approach me. I guess one of the construction workers that was doing construction work outside. He approached me with money, to give me money because they felt sorry for me, and I'm like, "Thank you, I appreciate it, and as kindly as possible." I'm like, "You keep the money. I don't need the money, but I do appreciate the gesture, but I don't like when people do that."
I I definitely agree with you, and I definitely think that people. I would rather stand in the corner of the room and not have people feel sorry for me, and I just do the work that I do, and then we'll do the work that we do, and if people are impacted, it great. If people are not impacted by it, you can walk away from David's podcast, hit the unsubscribe button, and then move on.
Yep. And so tell me a little bit about your the books that you've written. What are they about, and what do you
I
focus
have
on?
written 11 books, basically novels, but a couple autobiographies thrown in there. And once I get to the East Coast, you guys, I'll be working on two more books. One is going to be murder mystery, and then the other a murder history novel, and then the other one is going to be a book about podcasting, and so it's going to be a history detective novel, and then it's and then the other one is going to be a book about podcasting.
That is awesome. You're one busy bee. I tend to hopefully down the line write my own book because I've had people for years nag me about it. They're like, "You should write a book. You should do this. You should do that." It takes time and money. It's
Yep,
not cheap.
yep.
But that's one of my goals, to be able to write a book, to release my own merchandise. But it'll take time, and I'm just, slowly navigating the waters. I'm not as big as you are, but I hope to be one day because you're obviously really successful in what you do, and I definitely appreciate what you've done with the disabled community, and just listening to what you've posted. Your content is just you you are really experienced at what you do. You do really well.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Definitely. I mean, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. You know, you're pretty much one of my biggest. You're pretty much the biggest guest I've had so far on the show,
Oh,
so to say.
well, well, because it's me, and because um, when this episode comes out, you're going to get a broken podcast feed. You're going to get a broken podcast feed um, because of people know it's me, so they tend to click on it and support me, and so.
Yeah, it's truly a privilege, and also I wanted to, I guess, go into how was it like for you growing up? Was it very difficult? Did you find it okay? Because
I
I know
I
myself, it
had
wasn't easy. So
the CP aspect wasn't easy, but I had two amazing parents who raised me as if I had no disability whatsoever, and yeah, and so the CP aspect, the surgeries, the broken bones, and the CP aspect wasn't easy, but I had two amazing parents and an amazing support network that still loves me and supports me to this day.
that's that's awesome. It's always good to have that support system behind you, whether it's your parents, your friends, um, close relatives. You know, and a lot of our success, it's always attributed to them and to a lot of people that we're close with, because sometimes when you get really successful, you tend to forget who you are, and you gotta remember, you didn't become successful overnight by yourself. You had help along the way,
Yeah,
especially ourselves with disabilities. You know, people think that we were just given handouts and that we were given everything that we have. No, we actually had to work uh, with it ourselves.
no,
You know.
yep,
So let's see. We've covered your books. We've covered education. I'm trying to think what else here. And okay, so what is it that you want to, I guess, accomplish as far, or your what is your what is some advice you would give to someone who is currently struggling with a disability, or just struggling in general with trying to find themselves and trying to, I guess, become successful and believe in themselves?
go get help from a professional counselor. Go get help from a professional counselor, and then you can use, after that you can use the disabled community like David and myself to bounce ideas off of, and you just have to find what you're really passionate about and what you're really good at, and then you lucky enough not to work a day in your life. They say if you find a job that you're really, really passionate about, me in journalism and David in somewhat the teaching capacity, they say if you find a job that you're really, really passionate about, you never work a day in your life.
That is correct. That's always been my motto from day one. So I'm glad we have common ground as far as that's concerned. Um, so Win, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to be on the show.
Yes,
Um,
and you guys will have to come over and listen to David's episode on my show when we record that one, because that one is going to be fun.
yeah, shit, I'm excited.
Yep.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
We tried to cross paths, but there's always something, in the way for us,
Oh, there's always no, there's always something in the way. So I appreciate you guys supporting David, and please, 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 if you can, go leave a review in Apple Podcast for David's podcast, and please, please, please go leave a star rating in Apple Podcast for David's podcast, and let's just support independent content creators with a disability.
And then also, I want to go ahead and let everybody know to go and check out Wynn's content on her on you have a website, right? Is it?
Ask askwin.webelieve.com. Yes, and I'm all over Facebook, and I'm all over askwin.webelieve.com is the main thing. If you just type in Ask Win on any podcast player that you choose, including Google, including Apple, including Spotify, including everywhere, including the Amazon Smart Speaker, you can pretty much find my content.
And you can also, if you want to support Wynn, she also has her own her books and her merchandise as well.
Yeah, yeah, and you can find that on the books on Amazon, and you can just go to town on that. And all my books are available in audio, and then we'll just go to town on that.
All right. Well, Wynn, I appreciate your time. I will make sure to hopefully post the links to your podcast and everything on the description when I release the episode. And to everyone that's listening today, thank you for listening. This is Win and David here. I'm signing off. If I can do it, so can you.